I never thought I'd see someone destroy my lawn over a supposed HOA violation, but that's exactly what happened last spring, and I caught it all on camera. It started with a note taped to my front door. Your lawn decor violates community standards. Remove immediately or face fines. The note was unsigned, but I recognized the handwriting instantly. Brenda, our self-appointed neighborhood enforcer, she wasn't even on the HOA board anymore. She'd been removed months ago for harassing residents, yet she still patrolled like she had authority. I laughed it off at first. My violation was a simple wooden sign my daughter made in art class. It read, "Home Sweet Home," and sat by our flower bed. Nothing offensive, nothing flashy, but in Brenda's eyes it was apparently a threat to neighborhood order. That evening I spotted her walking by slowly, arms crossed, glaring at my yard like it had personally insulted her. I tried to be polite. "Evening, Brenda," I called. She didn't smile. "That sign has to go, Tom." "It's not regulation, regulation." I raised an eyebrow. "Brenda, there's no rule against signs like that. I checked the HOA bylaws myself." She scoffed. "You think you know better than me? I helped write those rules." "Yeah, but you're not on the board anymore," I said calmly. "Maybe let the current members handle it." Her face tightened. "We'll see about that." I didn't think much more of it until 3 nights later, at 2 a.m., my motion sensor light snapped on. At first, I thought it was a stray raccoon, but then I saw movement near the flower bed. Someone was crouched down, digging into the soil with something metal. My heart pounded. I slipped to the window and froze. It was Brenda. She had a small gardening spade in one hand and a flashlight in the other. She was tearing up my tulips, muttering to herself, "Non-compliant, tacky, eyesore." I couldn't believe it. My lawn looked like a battlefield. I grabbed my phone, started recording, and quietly opened the window. "Brenda," I shouted, "what the hell are you doing?" She jumped, flashlight jerking toward me. Dirt covered her gloves. I, I'm fixing your violation." "You're vandalizing my property," I snapped. "Step away from the flower bed." "You were warned," she hissed. "The board said—" "The board didn't say a damn thing. You're trespassing." At that moment, she realized she was caught. Her face turned red, and she dropped the spade, stomping off toward her house. I kept recording until she disappeared into the shadows. The next morning, I surveyed the damage. My tulips were shredded, the soil overturned, and the little sign my daughter made was snapped clean in half. She found it on the porch steps and burst into tears. That's when I decided enough was enough. I called the police. Officer Daniels arrived about 30 minutes later, notebook in hand. I showed him the video. He frowned, watching Brenda's figure illuminated by the motion light. "Clear as day," he said. "She's on your property, damaging it. That's vandalism. Criminal mischief, technically." "Will anything actually happen?" I asked, tired. "She's been bullying everyone for years." He nodded. "With this footage, something will happen. Trust me." By afternoon, word spread like wildfire through the neighborhood. Brenda had been questioned by police. I could see her pacing on her porch, talking animatedly on the phone. The gossip traveled faster than any HOA email ever did. Later that evening, Brenda showed up at my door, her face a cocktail of rage and desperation. "You didn't have to call the cops," she snapped. "You're making this into a big deal." "I didn't make it a big deal. You did when you broke into my yard," I replied firmly. She crossed her arms. "You're trying to ruin my reputation." "You did that yourself, Brenda." "I have it all on video." The officers saw it. The board saw it. Everyone knows. Her voice trembled. "They won't arrest me over this. It's just grass." I looked her dead in the eye. "You destroyed my daughter's art and vandalized private property. It's not about grass. It's about respect." She stormed off again, muttering curses under her breath. The next morning, 2 police cruisers rolled up to her driveway. I watched from my porch, phone still recording. Officers knocked on her door, spoke briefly, then led her down the steps in handcuffs. She tried to keep her head high, but her voice cracked as neighbors peeked through curtains. "This is ridiculous. I was enforcing rules," she yelled. Officer Daniels kept his tone calm. "You're under arrest for criminal mischief and trespassing, ma'am." "You can't arrest me for trying to keep the neighborhood clean." "That's for the judge to decide," he said, guiding her to the car. The street fell silent except for the sound of the cruiser door shutting. For once, Brenda didn't have the final word. Afterward, I sat on my porch with a cup of coffee, just listening to the quiet. The same neighbors who used to avoid drama now walked by, stopping to thank me. "She's been threatening to fine us over mailbox colors," one said. "Last month, she called animal control on my cat," another whispered. It turned out half the block had stories. Mine was just the first caught on camera. Within a week, the HOA board issued an official statement condemning her actions. They clarified that Brenda had no authority and promised to review community oversight policies. It was a small victory, but it mattered. A few days later, I replaced the broken sign with a new one. This time, my daughter painted it herself again. It said, "Respect grows here." I placed it right back where it belonged, surrounded by new flowers. A neighbor stopped by and smiled. "Brave of you to put it back," I laughed. "I'm not letting one person's bitterness dictate how I live." As the days passed, life returned to normal. Brenda's house stayed quiet. Her porch light never came on. Eventually, a for sale sign appeared in her yard. She moved out 2 months later. No one missed her. One evening, Officer Daniels stopped by during his patrol. "Just wanted to check that everything's peaceful again," he said. I nodded. "Couldn't be quieter." "Guess justice really does grow roots." He grinned. "That camera of yours saved you a lot of headaches." After he left, I looked at the recording one last time before deleting it from my phone. Watching her tear through the flowers had once filled me with anger, but now it just reminded me how far I'd come from letting bullies control my peace. For a long time, Brenda thought fear gave her power. But when the truth came to light, the only thing she grew was her own downfall. Now every spring when the tulips bloom again, I remember that night, not with bitterness, but with gratitude. Because sometimes justice doesn't come with revenge or shouting matches. Sometimes it's as simple as a camera, a clear conscience, and a lawn full of flowers that survived the storm. Subscribe for more powerful true stories and see you in the next one.